When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
News team, assemble!
It's back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com. Now, here's the entire Sooner Scoop crew. Carrie, Josh, Eddie, and
George.
All right, welcome back. It is another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast right here on Soonerscoop.com. All parties involved, all parties engaged. And we are getting ready, rolling towards the college football playoff. There's a lot of good stuff happening around the Scoop offices. We had Ari Wasserman on yesterday. Go check that out on YouTube. Great interview. You boys did a fantastic job. Ari's an easy interview, though. He's great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So more of that to come as, we're keeping the content flowing. We got the Unofficial 40 going right now for you. But we'll have practice availability tonight, which will be great. So we'll have some practice reports coming out on the YouTube channel. Of course, all the great coverage on Soonerscoop.com. George, with the what's the big story right now from you?
Well, Cortland Guillory up this week.
I was going to see if Carrie could guess.
Oh.
I'm busy.
It's his birthday. We're going to give him a free pass. Happy birthday.
Well, it was a night of hell last night. I was up at the offices late. Eddie kind of knows this. It's like when you have a bunch of reads that you have to do for radio and they need them last minute. And so I was trying to I had to write a whole script for it and everything. So I was here about 10:30 getting ready to, I got the studio. I turned the studio off and then I forgot, oh crap, I got to do that. So I turned everything back on, 10:30. I've got my script written. I'm ready to come in here and tell everybody how they need, testosterone in their lives. And the fire alarm just starts going off. And I didn't know what I thought. Is there a scheduled test that the real estate, our real estate company didn't tell me about? And so I walk outside, and again, 10:30. I had the other studio. The new studio was all up. I was in there working, and so all the lights are on, and I knew we have like night cleaning crews that work upstairs at Sooner Club. So I thought I heard some racket out there. I thought it was just them, and then all of a sudden, I look up at the Sooner Club and there's a flashlight because they have like a frosted glass door, and there's a fire, and a guy just starts yelling, "Help! Get me out of here!" And it's like a shadowy figure, and I'm like, and he starts kicking on the door like he's going to break it down. And I'm like, stop doing that. I was like, I've got people coming. We'll get you help. Like, I didn't know if it was somebody
what door is he kicking at?
This one right here by the
so you went up the stairs.
Well, I went to the base of the stairwell,
and
I guess he could see me. I think the guy was drunk out of his mind. I don't know. So I called 911, and then half the freaking police force showed up. Half the fire department showed up.
And I had to guess this. I mean,
and it was an hour. The fire alarm was going off for an hour.
Completely dead up here too. I'm sure that nobody was like on campus quarter.
There were some people. I mean, it's always a little bit of activity.
Yeah.
And you know how it is when people are walking past, they're loud because they've been out at the bars. So you hear a lot of girls screaming and laughing and stuff like that outside. And so I'm waiting on the cops outside, and they get here really fast. And then I'm calling Sooner Club. I'm calling the real estate company. Dylan from the Sooner Club gets up here. They do a walkthrough. They never find the guy. They found out he took some stuff while he was up there.
Wait, they didn't find the guy that was banging on the glass?
Yeah. No, they never found him.
So how did he get out?
I think he finally realized that there was a way to get out, because what I didn't realize is the doors were all open over here at 10:30 at night. Like, the door to the Sooner Club on the outside was open.
He probably came out the other side, like that other door, the one that goes outside, like into the alley.
I think he did, yeah. And they had security footage of him.
Oh, that's crazy. That's kind of creepy. I didn't know that they didn't catch him.
They didn't catch him. No, I think he came down that stairwell and he got out like back behind like Volare and the deli. And so the cops were like on an active manhunt for a little bit. And like Dylan and I were like just standing there talking to him. And It was cool, kind of cool, because like the fire chief like gave me the keys to the castle, basically. Like, if this ever happens again, here's what you do. And
you should have stopped
shoot him. Is that what the?
No, I did. Could I stop an intruder? That's a good question.
Yeah. I think he would have to be on our property.
And it was one of those things. Like, I went up there, and it was me and Dylan and 2 OUPD guys, and we were just doing one last sweep. And so, like, I was going around every corner just expecting to find some guy, like,
I don't think I would have volunteered to do that. I'd be like, that's your guys' job.
They had guns. So, yeah, about 1 or 2, 12:30 or 1, it was all said and done. And then I was just wired. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just sit here and work on stuff. I studied up on the network and getting that all ready to go.
Wait, at 1 a.m., 2 a.m.?
I left here at 5:30 a.m.
Carrie.
I mean, I went home. I had to go home.
Just as bizarre to us.
I had to go home and do the radio show.
Is the network fixed?
No, I mean, we got all the stuff coming in on Friday, so our Wi-Fi's back up again.
Okay.
I'm working on the Wi-Fi, George. I'm always thinking about you.
Okay, well, I was just wondering, because you said you were here till 5:30. I was hoping that maybe that minute was...
For the nerds out there, our access points have gone haywire.
I was waking up at 5:15. I was waking up at that time.
I was leaving here at 5:30. So I had to go home and do my radio show. And I left a little early, and then I was like, I've got to get some sleep. And then I overslept, and so we're here a little late, and I've ruined Josh's day, so I'm sorry, Josh.
No, man. I was prepared. I was ready. Actually, I ran a few errands. Like, he won't be there at noon. It's his birthday. I know he's going to have shit going on. So
hey, look, I
got a few things done.
I love all the text and stuff, but getting the text in between the real estate company going, okay, can you tell us what's going on? And I already had to give statements like, I'm probably in a police report this morning, George, if you want to look it up. But yeah, he's like, if they pass charges, you probably have to come in and, testify as a witness and all this stuff. But I don't think he took. Wow. I think he took like a little trinket from up there that wasn't really that. I don't know how much I can say, but
so do they have any like? I find it really interesting. I mean, this feels like the worst inside job ever. But like, they left it unlocked, and he just happened to wander in.
I think that's what happened. Yeah, I think the cleaning crew did not lock the door because look, if I stay here past 7, which is a common occurrence, someone's always locking that door.
I'm guessing it was a member of our transient community.
It looked like a pretty young guy. I think it's somebody that was just high out of his mind or just extremely drunk.
I have no idea.
Who was just wandering around and found an open door and went through it.
In Oklahoma, you might get shot.
And somehow wound up at Sooner Club, just wandering around.
It's just such a weird place to end up.
And he kicked in a door up there. Like, it was off the hinges.
Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's somebody that's been fired in the past.
I've never done that, but I hear that is much harder to do than people think it is.
Kick a door off the hinges?
Yes.
Yeah, I've never tried. I've never thought of trying. I get out the screwdriver and the hammer, and I take off the hinges.
Yeah.
Like a regular person.
Yes. And don't, destroy your knee while you do it. So congratulations.
All right. So, that was my night, a fun night. And thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you to everybody. And I will get back to you if I haven't gotten back to you. Just know that. So here we are. We've got a college football playoff game, insane, coming to Norman, Oklahoma in just over a week. I don't know, game day wise, I haven't heard all the stuff about. I mean, I'm sure the North Oval will be open. Game day will be here. I know Andy and Ari are coming. Josh Pate is coming. So the world is descending.
It's going to be like a Friday. It's going to be weird because it is on a Friday. I guess Oklahoma fans can bank on the idea they have played a Friday game here as of late, but Norman's going to be shut down. They've shut down the schools. They've shut down the university. So all the classes and the finals that were supposed to happen won't be happening. It's going to be a fun day. I'm excited, and I think that...
I don't know if they're going to shut down Campus Corner yet or not. I haven't heard that.
I'm sure
I would imagine. It's going to be just like a game day.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed-sponsored jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. we head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
Yeah,
like a Saturday game day.
I think it's going to feel like a Saturday.
I think that, I've said this on a couple shows this week with George on YouTube, that I think everybody has had that text message group or that conversation with a buddy that it always has gone back, even in the middle of the summer. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if Oklahoma ever hosted one? And it's almost a little bit surreal that we're sitting here 9 days out from them hosting a college football playoff game. It's kind of special. I would tell everybody to enjoy the next 9 days.
Somebody asked me this the other day. Is this, because of obviously the stakes, is this the biggest home game in school history, program history?
Yeah.
I think it
directly can lead to a national championship.
I say yes. Of my lifetime, yes. I think that there would be some older people in the older
Tech
demographics.
game in 2008.
But back in the day,
what about the game of the century?
The game of the century, sure, yeah. 1 and 2. Well,
and games back then, they were, if you won, you were going to the Orange Bowl to play for the national title.
Sure.
So, but I think you're right, Eddie. In our lifetime,
not even close.
Nebraska 2000, Nebraska 2000.
But we didn't know at the time that it was going to be the biggest game. Like, we didn't know that they were going to go on that run.
That was the tail end of Red October.
Okay.
And that's why the crowd rushed stormed the field, is because it meant that they were headed. Well, they had to go to the Big 12 championship first against K-State. Well, they had to go to They had Bedlam though after that, right? Because that was 2000. The last game.
Yeah, 12-7 or whatever. I thought Nebraska was earlier in the schedule.
It was October, so obviously, yeah, it wasn't the last game. It was the final game in October. It was that final.
It was. I think it was Texas, K-State, Nebraska, right?
No, Texas, K-State.
Kansas State was definitely second. If we had internet, we could look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Because I thought A&M was after Nebraska.
It may have been.
Okay, Red October was Texas at K-State, Nebraska at home.
And then at A&M.
No, that's it. There's only 3.
Oh, okay.
They had a bye week after K-State.
When was the A&M game, the date?
November 11th.
Okay. Well, to answer your question, though, I think it is one of the biggest games in the history of the program. Certainly, getting back into the playoffs and the magnitude that will come with
and
next
playing
Friday
Alabama.
Night. Yeah, it's awesome.
Like
it's also mind-boggling to think that OU could make it 6-7 against Alabama. It's kind of crazy. 3 wins over Alabama in the last calendar year. I know that Trammell wrote about it this week, just in terms of, like, you want to make a statement. Is there any bigger statement that you could make than beating Alabama 3 times in the matter of 13 months?
Well, here's the thing. Like, name me a team. I mean, maybe USC, but that's like one game that was really embarrassing in the national championship. Name me a team that has been this big of an albatross around Oklahoma's neck as Oklahoma has been to Alabama in recent history. I don't think you can.
Georgia over Alabama over Georgia.
No, I'm saying to OU. Like someone that OU's like, God damn it, we just can't beat those motherfuckers.
Oh, I mean, I guess Texas,
K-State
maybe
and
the last
Iowa State,
couple of
maybe
years,
the closest thing.
I fixate Kerry. I would say like Oklahoma State in the early 2000s when they ran off a couple of games in a row and really are a thorn in OU's side. But that's
2
one of the
years,
best I
3
could
years?
think of. Yeah, it was just 2.
But again, those were mediocre OSU
I mean,
teams. That was just a weird.
Historically, well, no, never mind. I was going to say Notre Dame, but
yeah, I mean
that'd be going way back.
You're talking about decades.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Until
Miami.
Georgia's still pissed about Bud's record.
Miami is a good one.
Until this last year, that been LSU that had kind of been a thorn in Oklahoma's side.
Yeah.
My dad reminded me after the LSU game, I don't think that Oklahoma, maybe outside, at least in the core sports, football, basketball, baseball, I don't think that they played in softball. LSU, I think that was the first time OU beat LSU in the SEC.
Well, in basketball,
they got beat.
I'm talking. I thought you meant like, in the SEC. Sure, I thought you meant Buddy Hield and then beat LSU back.
Yeah, they went down and beat Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah, I remember that game.
That was kind of
who's
the first
close,
moment. It was
Eddie?
like, Buddy's good.
Who's close to having that? and I don't know if it still continues with everything that's happened, but Ole Miss was kind of becoming OU's thorn in the side.
Yeah,
It might still be.
Took a baseball championship away from them.
Sure.
Won
Didn't
the
beat
last
them in
two.
football.
That's a common opponent now, at least for
Still
the
beat them
foreseeable
in
future.
in the Independence Bowl. Little Deuce
Yeah.
McAllister.
1999. Bob Stoops got robbed.
Either
Literally.
way, it's a massive game. I'm very excited to see just kind of what that atmosphere is going to be, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like just throughout the week, because it's a little bit of unknown territory to us even, just in terms of not necessarily a Friday game, but being in the playoffs or back in the playoffs and not having to travel. It's very, very cool. It's very special.
Like we said before, it's hard to tell, but it really wasn't last year. Like, we got used to the Tennessee fans descending on Norman like nothing we'd ever seen before. And we thought, okay, Alabama's going to be kind of the same thing. And it really wasn't. Like, you can't tell because of all the crimson, but like and they were getting their asses kicked, so maybe they just weren't loud. But I am curious to know, like, how many Alabama fans have the motivation to even travel for this game.
George, do you know what the ticket allotment is for a visiting team in the college football playoff?
No clue.
Because I think it's smaller than you would guess. Because I remember
Smaller than a regular season game?
That's what I don't know.
Eddie, I bet it is, because you got to realize not all these teams are Oklahoma that are in the playoffs. So it's like, and you know not the bowl, it's not the bowls thing, but like they kind of follow along the same path, which is get the tickets sold, get the corporate sponsorship sold, get the bands, having to pay their way and buy up tickets. Like, I bet that a lot of tickets are not. There are a lot fewer tickets for Alabama than we would think.
I have no clue.
For first round CFP games hosted at campus sites, visiting teams typically get a fixed allotment of around 3,500.
Oh, that's not much at all.
I think that's around the same for regular season games.
Is it? I don't. Because I don't know what it is. For regular.
I think it's like 4,000 or so.
But for a game that's technically an NCAA event,
it is, but at the same time, it'll be, pretty much identical to a regular home game. I'm pretty sure. I know there were some people asking if like Alabama's intro video will be showed at the game. I have no idea.
It will
maybe.
Be. Unless they changed it from last year, but they did that last year.
Okay, but like the other in-game stuff, like I'm pretty sure it's going to be
people were asking on the board, like, are they going to get rid of all the stupid Chick-fil-A stuff so we don't have to sit through that?
Well, that's sponsorship stuff. I don't know.
But I don't think that applies to this game. I don't know if Learfield controls what happens in stadiums.
I think they'll still control like music and stuff.
It's a lot of country.
Sure, or will Mini-Men be played to start the?
Yeah, do they control?
That would be if that is the case that they don't. That's bullshit, because that's the part that Oklahoma earned.
Well, let's face it.
Advantage.
The NCAA, they're a paper tiger. They're probably coming to Oklahoma and every host team and say, "Look, you guys do what you do. We don't have the bandwidth to run football. 4 different football games over 2 days." So I'm sure they put a lot on in the hands of Oklahoma.
Kerry, I don't think that the NCAA controls this. This isn't.
It's a college football playoff committee, so,
right?
What I'm saying, it's an NCAA-like organization.
But like the NCAA tournament, when Oklahoma City hosts
where
the
they
regional
take it
this
over
year,
and you can't have cups that say something.
I don't think it's like that.
Or you got to pour your drink into a cup.
I don't think they have.
I think it's going to be
NCAA
very
stuff
similar
all
to a
around.
home game. There'll be a few things here and there, but
I don't think the fans will notice any difference.
No, other than the Alabama intro.
We're
video,
just
if
talking
that's real.
logistics.
And I'm not saying that OU's in game is good by saying that they should be allowed to do what they want to do. I'm just saying that I'm just saying that it would be kind of bullshit if they were like, you actually can't play any of the stuff that you typically do. That's the part that the home field advantage.
I would say it's going to be different than when like the softball team hosts an NCAA regional, where the NCAA does have effect over like what you can play and stuff. I think it's different than that.
Yeah. You know what's not bullshit is great vision. Eddie has it. I sort of still have it. Josh is wearing glasses, so he does not have it. Tell us about having great vision, Eddie.
Oh, thank you. The holiday season is upon us Sooner fans, and so are the savings at Enjoy Vision during holidays of LASIK. Now through the end of the year, you can save an incredible $600 on LASIK and lens replacement. All you got to do is schedule your consultation today. You can schedule a consultation for LASIK or lens replacement All you got to do is go to enjoyvision.com, letter N-J-O-Y, vision.com. Happy Berry Savings. Good luck to Oklahoma. Enjoy Vision. This is where Sooner Scoop Lasix.
All right, OU's in the playoffs, and while the team's gearing up for a championship run, you can start your own run toward your New Year's goals, whether you're looking to drop weight, boost energy, or just feel better heading into 2026. Not 2006, Will, I know that. Cody Drug has you covered. We offer multiple custom compounded peptide-based weight loss options, including popular GLP-1 medications and performance-focused peptides that help you recover faster, burn fat, and stay sharp. Cody Drug loves teaming up with Oklahoma med spas and longevity clinics to deliver high-quality peptides quickly, safely, and with top-tier service. So while the Sooners chase a title, let's chase those resolutions together. Visit CodyDrugRx.com to learn more and see how you can get started. Also, go check them out on Instagram. Will and the boys do a great job there, Cody Drug RX. Cody Drug, personalized medicine built for champions. That's CodyDrugRx.com. I know I talked to Will a little bit last night. He's excited about getting up here. He's got his hotel rooms booked. He's had them booked, I think, for maybe since the beginning. He's one of those guys, he believed in OU, so he booked hotel reservations for this weekend.
That's impressive.
He's a rider.
I don't know how much.
What can we say?
I wonder how much Embassy Suites cost this weekend.
Like coming up
next
to, well,
weekend.
here's the problem with all of the graduation stuff that was going on. I'm pretty sure that like
maybe they'll have an allotment come open.
No,
they're still having the graduation on Saturday the 20th. So I think that if you didn't book, I'm sure that the Oklahoma City hotels will be filled up with Alabama fans that are making the trip, or Oklahoma fans that are coming down.
We're pouring one out for the what do they call the people that take your reservations at hotels?
Concierge?
Receptionists, I think, yeah. We're pouring one out for the receptionists over at the Noun because that's going to be a madhouse probably this weekend.
Yeah, I would imagine. Well, next weekend, but yeah,
next
for
weekend,
sure.
Yeah.
They have no available rooms.
At Embassy?
Yeah.
I would imagine the Nouns to be the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be a packed house. I mean, I've heard from people that don't even normally make the trip. They're coming back into town from out of town. So it's going to be very, very exciting next week. The hardest part is just getting there. I feel like we're only at Wednesday, and it feels like it's been forever.
It's taken forever
since Sunday.
Yeah. Josh, I know you posted this on the board, but it is a dead period. So there, even if you could do anything recruiting-wise, if it was allowed, it's not possible because of it being the dead period. There's no contact in or off campus. So nothing big really going to be happening this weekend with recruits unless they pay their own way, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can give them tickets. I don't know.
No, OU can't facilitate anything. Even the signed and committed guys can't come in like that. That just doesn't work that way. Now they can come on the. OU can't give them tickets. Now, if a guy wants to buy a ticket, he wants to make Bo Bentley wants to come up and watch the game.
I'm sure
he
John
and his family
Mateer
can buy a
hook him
ticket,
up. Or maybe
absolutely. Well,
maybe Jet New.
That definitely wouldn't happen. NCAA. I know the NCAA is listening. That definitely.
No, I mean,
happen.
I think players can give their tickets to anybody they want, can't they?
Can they? I don't know how that works.
I don't know how many.
They usually give it to family.
I don't know
how
many
they get like
players
4
get
or something?
allotted for the playoff game.
Yeah,
there's a lot of little logistics things we probably should go back in and look at.
I don't know if it says anywhere.
Just to simplify it, if guys can pay their way and they can't have any contact with anybody on the OU staff, like they can come and they can watch, but they can't go. Like you see the videos all the time of guys going to the locker room after the games. They can't do that kind of stuff. Like there's no. This is a dead period, so there's no contact with coaching staff on or off campus.
All right, so let's talk about the latest commitments, scuttlebutt, anything that's out there, Josh. What is happening in the recruiting world of the Oklahoma Sooners right now?
How far do we want to go back? I guess Elija Harmon has certainly committed. Yeah. 2027 continues to be a spectacular start. Did we talk Keldred Ben? Did that happen after?
I think we did.
Well, yeah, because he was last Monday.
Okay,
so we should have covered that.
All right, we'll pick it up on Sunday then with the commitment of Elija Harmon.
Yeah, and I had a chance to talk with Elija for a while a little earlier this week. I've got a story I need to finish, honestly, but gave some highlights of it in Woke this morning. And you know, the funniest part for me in talking to him is how much I think Oklahoma has just surprised him. Like I don't think I said something along the lines of, if I'd have told you a year ago, a kid from Inglewood, California was going to be committed to Oklahoma, what would you have said? And he's like, I looked at you like you had 4 eyes. So, I mean, like I think a huge part of this, and we keep saying it over and over again every time we talk about a guy, on the West Coast, Stacey Ford had a big hand here. And he talked with me about that. That'll be in the story, kind of him talking about what these guys like about Stacey so much, why they seem to have that real connection. But also, again, I mean, he joked with me about the Todd Bates poems and that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, there's just a lot that these guys are. It feels like Oklahoma is really finding a groove in recruiting right now, kind of like this is how we work well together.
Does it seem like also when you look at what Oklahoma's been able to do from a development standpoint, I don't know if like Grayson Halton's been used as an example, that what they have to sell right now maybe becomes a little bit harder than it did the first couple of years, because you can point to tangible evidence. Like they have turned Grayson Halton into a guy that's going to hear his name called in the NFL draft.
Yeah, and again, if I'm OU, if I'm Jim Nagy, I'm sending out that LSU tape to everyone that will watch it of Grayson Halton. He was just so good that day. But yeah, I do. I think this, and it's going to get easier, Eddie, because like you look at it, okay, you got Grayson Halton this year. Dominic Williams is probably going to be a draftable guy, probably, later on, maybe a little bit, but with Grayson's ability as a pass rusher, I think it wouldn't shock me if he snuck into the 3rd round. I think that's an absolute possibility for him. But then you move, towards 2027 in the draft, and you're looking at David Stone and Jaden Jackson. I mean, and because today, guys, On3 released their All-American team, and and there's a lot of people kind of like, well, why? How does OU have more defensive guys? Guys, I think a huge part of that is how much we know OU rotates. Like they don't accumulate stats in the same way that we see other schools, do that, and I think it's largely because OU can run out 5 defensive tackles. They are completely comfortable playing in almost any situation. So they don't, like Caden McDonald at Ohio State, they're going to run him out there every chance they get. It's just different. So people are like, well, will this hurt OU? It might in the short term, but you start pushing out NFL draft picks every year, nobody's going to care. Those kids don't care about being All-Americans. They care about being NFL draft picks. And we know Todd Bates has a history of doing that, but once those kids that they're showing them have OU on the side of their helmet, it only gives you more credibility.
By the way, we have some breaking news that's coming across. Tate Sandell named SEC Special Teams Player of the Year.
Can we just put out a blanket statement? If there's an All-American list at kicker, Tate Sandell's probably going to get it. He got the On3 All-American. He was the one Oklahoma suitor on the list that was put out today. Obviously, we'll get into the SEC honor stuff here shortly, but my God, he's probably going to pick up the Lou Groza on Friday. All of the award shows, like the ESPN award shows, I know that you're seeing some of the announcements already coming out for the Walter Camp, and I think the Paul Hornig was announced this morning. But all of the award show stuff will be on Friday night on ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, great honor. I mean, obviously, very well deserved, and
he's been awesome. It's been incredible.
If he doesn't pick up the Groza, we riot. There's just no way that's acceptable.
I mean, his resume is it truly is, and I don't even think that I need to check the record books. It's the greatest season by an Oklahoma kicker in the history of Oklahoma football. No doubt.
It'd be one thing if, like, this was 2008 with Sam, and, like, Oklahoma just run up and down the field, and every once in a while he's got to kick a 50-yard field goal. Every kick he's made in the SEC has mattered. Like, there's not been a kick where you're like, that one, if he misses it, it's no big deal. Like, every one he's needed to hit, and he's hit all of them.
And it's not like it's been in doubt. I mean, most everything is right through the uprights. I mean, right down
and some
the
of them are bombs. Like, we're not talking 35 yards. We're talking he's hitting them from 50 consistently.
Well, and it also shows you, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, yes, some kickers have great legs. I was watching the Big 12 championship game, and Texas Tech's kicker, they were bragging on him. They're like, this guy's got a 58-yarder. He still missed 2 field goals in that game.
This episode is brought to you by NBA on Prime. The NBA on Prime is back with an exciting week of Emirates NBA Cup action. The knockout rounds begin with quarterfinal doubleheaders on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Then it's a semifinal doubleheader on Saturday. And it all culminates with the championship game next Tuesday night, only on Prime. If you're not a Prime member, sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
I mean, that just doesn't happen with Tate Sandell, not this year.
It's been awesome. He's made 23 in a row. It's a school record. It's also an SEC record. It's incredible. And, you know, as much hype has been around somebody like a Tate Sandell, and you're right, Josh, like, I think that they've made decisions from an offensive standpoint when they get over the 40-yard line that you feel pretty good. You're going to get 3 out of it, get a little bit more conservative. It's kind of incredible what Grayson Miller was able to put together for a resume this year. Like, they used him as a weapon.
Do you guys want an incredible Tate Sandell stat?
Yeah.
From Mike.
No, we want a terrible one.
Absolutely.
Okay, asshole. Jeez. Tate Sandell is one of just 2 kickers nationally since at least 1995 to make at least 7 field goals of 50-plus yards without a miss.
That's incredible.
I told you.
I think we should stop talking about this now.
Yeah,
well, he's okay.
You're right.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean,
he
it is the biggest game of the
honestly,
year
he needs to be better. There's room for improvement.
What is that?
Miss your first field goal of the year.
Yeah.
Oh,
you could have won by 14 if he would have made that field goal.
Let people down, Tate.
He's been unbelievable. What a find too. Just remembering back to like how he ended up in Norman, George, to say that like he was their number one call, I don't think would be completely accurate.
No, they had Mason Shipley, and the Texas State kicker who ended up at Texas.
It was like, okay, bring him in. Maybe it'll work out. He had good numbers at UTSA.
Who's the guy from Miami of Ohio that we were drooling over last year?
Carneiro?
Yeah.
Something like that. He's where he's
really
at.
Good. At Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what was the kid's name at Ohio State that's sitting on the bench? Because they talked about him during the broadcast on Saturday night during the Big Ten Championship.
That he was a big portal guy?
I thought that they got a portal guy, and he's just not playing. He's playing behind the fielding kid that missed one.
Well, you know, what is interesting is what they always say is these are team awards too, and yes, great individual efforts by Tate Sandell, but like LSU, they've got a great kicker in the Ramos guy, but they just didn't have a great season, and he didn't get put in position to have a lot of kicks that mattered. So it goes right along with when the team has success, the individuals have success, and granted, he made all the field goals that he had to make, and he deserves all the credit in the world. But also, I mean, just being put in that position. And the defense did it a lot. I mean, you talk about people talk so much about what's OU's offense going to do in the playoffs. Well, their defense just has to get Tate Sandell in field goal range a lot of times. And they've done that a lot. So and Brent's been talking about it. I mean, look, it's bullshit to sit here and say, oh, they can win without the offense. They have to have offense to win a national championship. But I think what Brent says it also rings true. Like, this is really a team. This is a group of guys that find a way to win.
It's their identity. I mean, I think that they certainly found it, and I don't know if you want to just necessarily bank on this idea of it's just a grimy team. They're going to find ways to win. I don't think that gets you very far in the playoffs, but I do think it got you to the playoffs. It got you a identity that I think a lot of people had been kind of wanting them to.
I mean, I think though, Eddie, it can get you far in the playoffs. Like, those are the teams that do make a run in the playoff. I'm not saying
you have
that
to be
like,
grimy to win playoff
you need to be
That's
better, but like I think that Oklahoma and the way that they've played, the way that they've been able to win, they can lean on that in these type of games.
And let's face it, the league that they're in. I mean, how many other leagues can prepare? I mean, the Big Ten's got some really good teams at top. Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, those are all really good teams. They don't play the level of competition. I mean, OU's, before the season started, everybody talked about second hardest schedule in the country, or first. Florida and OU had the 2 hardest schedules in the country. That schedule has built this team, and having to go win at Tennessee and win at Alabama and win a rock fight with LSU and Missouri, like, they're used to playing in games like this. I don't know that people like Texas Tech are.
Yeah, I mean,
That being said, Texas Tech's really good.
Yeah,
but it's about more than just having talent.
They've found a way. I still think the most important thing that came out of November was just them finding ways to win, Josh. It seemed like that was never going to come. I think
like
we
Josh
were the
really
two biggest doubters of them finding ways.
Josh, I could see that you want to shit on something.
I don't want to shit on Texas Tech. I love Joey McGuire. I'm not sold. I'm just not. I don't. I think they're a good team. I think they could absolutely beat. It's not like because I know a Tech fan would hear this and be like, they're better than Oklahoma. They might be. Like, I'm not even arguing that. I just do I think they're one of the 4 best teams in the country? No, I don't believe that for a second.
I've said this before.
That's the great thing about the playoff. We'll find out.
I said this before with Tech, just watching them against BYU, which is a really good comparison. Like, when you play these good teams, it shows you, that this guy isn't good enough. And I've been kind of on this high horse about this, but, when you play in the SEC, the thing that it's taught me more than anything is it exposes what you're not really good at. And whether that's at a position or quarterback. I mean, Ty Simpson spent most of the year as a Heisman favorite, and then there's no coincidence that he faced the best defenses late in the season, and now he's struggling a little bit, just like John Mateer's been struggling. I mean, the guy he leads the NCAA in touchdown passes a year ago, comes to the SEC, struggles, his confidence is shaken, he's trying to find his way back, but good competition, it's not about the SEC, really. Good competition exposes you. And that's what the playoff is going to do for teams like Tech and other people who maybe haven't had to play the schedule that an Oklahoma has. That being said, Tech can totally line up and beat Oklahoma.
A perfect example is BYU, who just had a great year, went 11-2. Everything went well for them in a lot of ways. Watching Bear Bachmeier as their quarterback, guys, do you think they'd beat LSU on a neutral field? I don't. I think LSU'd beat them. I believe that, especially if you're talking about a healthy Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah.
Bachmeier's just terrible. I mean, he looked terrible in that game.
I think that's the ultimate kind of question. Like, going into that game, is everybody healthy on the LSU side of things? Are they motivated?
Yeah,
have they fired a coach? Like, I think a lot of that, and even talking about the resume and the college football playoff stuff, what Vanderbilt did at Knoxville was very impressive. I think we all kind of agreed, though, after OU beat Tennessee, everybody kind of saw the writing on the wall for Tennessee, just in terms of their season was basically over. I think that those things definitely play a factor. Maybe not so much in the professional game in the NFL, but certainly in the college game, I think it plays a part.
Well, somebody was saying, I might have been Andy Staples that was talking about it, and it was something about, after the game, BYU fans were like, man, we just want one more shot at Texas Tech. Are you sure? They've hammered you twice. I don't think you want any more of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, and I think everybody is under that umbrella of, have they been tested enough? Has Oregon been tested enough? Has anybody in the Big Ten been tested enough?
That's why it's
a legitimate
that's
question.
why I think though in the SEC, I think they have been tested enough to where it's you kind of know what Alabama is, you know what Oklahoma is. I think I know what Georgia is, and I think Georgia is a potential national championship team, but I don't think we're going to go watch this game next Friday night and be like, well, what is this Oklahoma team? Or what is this Alabama team? We're going to know. Yeah. We're going to, it's, maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe maybe John Mateer goes out and just is unbelievable. But I kind of think we know what these teams are in the SEC because they've all played such good teams, good competition every week. Whereas I think
it'll come down to who makes plays.
Yeah, and it's a rematch, which is just going to make things tighter, and it's going to make it harder to make plays against people that you're familiar with.
And Brent said that. He's like, there's no catching you off guard. Sure, there's probably a handful of plays that you can scheme up, or you could do something different, or you could install a couple plays here and there. But at the end of the day, you are what you are. Alabama and Oklahoma know what to expect from each other at this point, and so it's more about, can you go out and you execute? Can you go out and, if you're Alabama, not turn the ball over 3 times? If you're Oklahoma, can you take advantage of short fields or whatever it is, not turn the ball over in big moments?
And you know what else? I think that's why Brent is looking for every little mental advantage he can find. Yeah. That's why that press conference or the teleconference or Zoom or whatever you call it was so awkward the other day when he was trying to basically invent slights against his team.
Well, I don't think he's inventing them. They're real. I mean,
I don't know that's not a chorused refrain, though. I mean, it might be. You can find any criticism you want out there on the internet.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair,
of all the Power 4 teams, like Oklahoma's the team that I think everybody would point at and say this team doesn't deserve to be there, alongside Alabama. Obviously.
Well, and just
yeah, but there's Brandon Walkers everywhere.
But I think the national sentiment is
Brandon
that
Walker,
neither
though.
of these teams, like everybody's
we
talking about.
We sat here before the season and said Brent's ass is on the line. Like, we are part of that. It wasn't just Brandon Walker. It was Eddie Radosevich and George Stoya and Kerry Murdoch and Josh McQuistion who sat here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
6 months, and we're like, if they don't get their shit together, he's going to get canned. So, like, I don't think he's inventing anything.
We said that as short as
no, but
a month and a half ago.
What I'm talking about is his contention that everyone collectively thinks OU is the first team out.
I mean, just take a look at the national scale of people out there that are talking about, here's the 5 teams that I think could win the college football playoff.
And it's never Oklahoma. Sure, yeah.
I mean, they have the worst odds of any Power 4 team, and it's not even close.
Right.
Like, they're not even close to the next Power 4 team.
But I also think that's a backlash, against Oklahoma because they have a history since Lincoln Riley took over.
I don't think it has anything to do with the history.
I think it's people can't wrap their mind around Oklahoma being able to win games in the college football playoff with an offense that has been inept for the past month and a half.
Yeah. Which I still think is just kind of hilarious because we live in the Oklahoma bubble, and like after the LSU game, the main talking point was how could they let this offense into the college football playoff when it was like, now wait a second, did you watch them the last month? Like that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, and again, toughest schedule in the country. How many other teams had to do that? I mean, a lot of people's offenses that are pretty good were going to look kind of shitty against that schedule.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Missouri, LSU have really good defenses, and then Alabama's a good defense.
They weren't good though. Like as a
Missouri's
team,
really good defense.
They don't scare me much.
Missouri's defense is by every metric one of the best.
I'm not saying they're bad by any means.
You didn't watch Trotter out there in that game and be like, "Wow, that's a dude."
Not really. I mean, I know that
Eddie,
he's great.
He's really good.
I'm not saying he's bad. I can't watch the game. I'm shooting video. I'm not saying he's bad. But the OU schedule at the end of the year was not as glamorous as it was. I'm not even trying to shit on and say.
Oh no,
that
you're right.
Good.
You're right about that. But I do think though that it still was very difficult, and they faced some very good defenses.
That's completely fair.
In Walmart's Unofficial, time was ticking away. Only a few nights left till the big holiday. But last-minute gifters had no need to worry. Walmart Express Delivery got their gifts in a hurry. From Nintendo to Nespresso and Lego flowers, they could check off their lists in as fast as an hour. All of Unofficial, East, West, South, and North, could order gifts up until 5 p.m. on December 24th. So this holiday, just do as the Who's do. With gift delivery this fast, they all gasped. From Walmart? Who knew? Subject to availability, terms and fees apply.
That's what I just said, and you shit on it.
No, I didn't. I don't think that you listen, Gary.
Well, all right. The thing, there's 2 things that are interesting here, and I didn't even realize it, guys. OU has faced 7 of the top 25 SP plus defenses in the country this year.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Like you couldn't pick that in the preseason if you were trying to make that number. Like that's unbelievable. Ohio State's faced 3, just kind of as an example. I believe Indiana's faced 2. So like there is something to be said for that. There really is. At the same time, you can flip that argument around really easily. Oklahoma's faced 2 SP plus top 25 offenses. And does that make me doubt OU's defense? Not at all. But I'm just saying, like, I think there's something to be said for, like, I think there are some questions, like George was saying, that, like, we know these teams, we know what they are, but, like, how they're going to be when kind of the rubber meets the road and you have to do it week over week, it's going to be different. I think the SEC teams, to their credit, are more prepared to deal with that because they've been doing it for the last 2 months.
Well, and it's just little things. It's like, for whatever reason, Ryan Williams hasn't done shit against Eli Bowen, and it's been 2 games.
Yeah.
And like that plays into it. Like that's a little motivational game that's going to be played. And yeah, I think I've seen where Alabama fans are kind of shitting on Ryan Williams, especially after the turnover in that last game, and like he was more worried about his NIL than he is about playing ball for. But that's to be expected. But
I think he's a big TikTok guy and gets a lot.
Oh,
of
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's. But anyway.
Jim Knowles headed to Tennessee officially.
Damn, that's a great hire.
Wow.
Is
Josh
it though?
Heupel, yeah.
I mean, it is a good hire. The shine is worn off.
Dude, Penn State was not. They weren't a problem
I don't know
because
how,
of their defense.
I don't know how bought in.
I mean, they
he
had
is.
Colt Necky too. I mean, they had great coordinators. I'd still take Colt Necky as my
I've heard some
coordinator.
things that maybe Jim Knowles isn't totally.
I don't think he's bought in. No.
Well, then that's why I'm kind of like it's a good hire, not a great hire. I just
It's a great name hire.
Yes, for sure.
I wonder how much they had to pay him. Now I'm wondering. What did he get? 5?
He got a lot to go to Penn State. Is Colton
I think
Nicky?
the number
Colton
was
Nicky's not staying at Penn State either, is he?
I don't think so.
I haven't.
I wonder
heard.
where he'll end up.
I'd be pretty surprised with.
He was. I mean, his time
background.
did not. It wasn't great at Penn State. Of course, if you go to Kansas and you're putting up those numbers, you're a hero. If you go to a blue blood, if you will, and aren't one of the top 5 offenses in the country, and you're getting paid that type of coordinator position, then you're going to get criticism.
I think it's fair to say that what he did at Kansas was unbelievable because Jalen Daniels was not the same guy when he left.
No.
But it's also
The injury
could be true
did
to
that,
be
too.
said that what he did at Penn State probably not what Penn State had signed up for either.
Well, you also have to remember, can you think of 2 players more dissimilar than Jalen Daniels and Drew Aller?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure he ever had the guy that could really run the offense the way he wanted to run.
That's why.
not sure.
Again, you've got
Pabula.
Yeah,
he
I
was
thought
the guy.
Pabula
That's
probably
the
was their
crazy
best
part.
quarterback.
Pabula could.
They kept the wrong guy.
There's a lot of Penn State fans that think so.
Do you notice
you
that
say that, but did you see? There's some Missouri fans that want Missouri to go after a different quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
because they don't. Why?
Then Pabula?
Yeah, I saw like it was a Missouri podcast like talking about like they should go look in the portal at a different quarterback.
I think at the end of the day, every fan base, unless you're putting up 50 points a game and 700 yards of total
they all
offense,
want to move on.
Everybody wants to move on from their own guy.
Well, and I think that's the NIL era because everybody thinks their quarterback is making $2 million,
Everybody
even
thinks
if they might be.
Ari made a great point yesterday talking about like Kirk Cignetti and how he's ruined it for all of like the new
expectation
head coaches.
level.
Yeah, and it's like it's the same with Mendoza. Everybody's looking at Indiana. It's like, well, why can't we go hire the next Kirk Cignetti and go get the next Fernando Mendoza? Like, well, that's just not reality.
His brother's there. Try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no doubt that the quarterback position is it's crazy to say this because as high profile a position and as criticized a position that's been, adding money into the mix with NIL has made it more. People are more critical of that position. I mean, willing to move on. I mean, look, even before money was involved with the whole Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams thing, but just you know what's crazy is people were talking. We had that discussion about the NIL era best players maybe last week. We were talking about offensive linemen like Derek Simmons, and people were like reminding me like, oh, Tyler Guyton. I was like, I don't really think of that era as NIL, but they really were in the NIL era then. It just wasn't. I don't think nearly the money we're talking about now. Like Wanye Morris was in the NIL era.
Was he?
And Tyler Guyton was in the NIL. Yeah, because 2021 is when it started.
That's crazy. But it wasn't. It was so different then. You know?
I mean, it was like a back channel.
Well, and like
thing.
other schools weren't. There weren't as many other schools like coming after your players in terms of, throwing a ton of money. Like Caden Green was the first one that it was like that. Was like
and that was what 22.
That was after the
Spring
23 season. It was the spring of 24.
It was almost as if like the coaching fraternity hadn't truly accepted the idea that not only was this going to be here to stay, but you were going to have the opportunity or ability, I guess, to like just completely refigure a roster over the course of a month.
Yeah, nobody thought that it would affect college football in the rosters like it has.
I think, and maybe we just lied to ourselves, but I think that we all thought at some point they're going to get a handle on it, and it's gone the complete opposite way. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the comments from Kenny Dillingham.
Oh yeah,
with Sam Levitt, but it is out of the cat's out of the bag, and they're going to have to figure it out.
Well, and I mean, do you guys? I feel like it's both ways. Like I think that teams that have NIL money, they've gotten organized. They have the OU being one of the halves, obviously. Like they've done better over the last 2 years of retaining their talent. Like not just OU, but just all the big schools. You don't see, oh man, that guy went in the portal. That's why David Stone was crazy, because obviously OU didn't want to lose that guy, and it was that rare moment where you're like, oh man, maybe they're really going to lose a piece they want to keep. Really, since Caden Green, that really hasn't happened, that OU lost a guy they obviously would like to keep on their roster. So, I mean, there are, to lesser degrees, sure, but I mean, a guy that really was going to be a foundational piece, and you see that less and less now, and at the same time, at schools like Utah, who is now setting up private equity, oh my God, I can't even get into how insane that sounds to me. But you're getting schools that are now desperate, and they don't have the money, and they can't keep up, and so they're going to go to these desperate measures. And I don't know what it feels like. It's all just building to super conference.
I think that's the thing about all of this is you have all these entities acting in their own best self-interests, and even on our message boards, people get it. Like, they know where this has to go. It doesn't take a genius to figure out, as you're saying, Josh, this is somewhere leading to a league. A college football league, just like the NFL. That's the only way to get it to where everybody can play under the same rules. And you're going to it's just like the playoff. I mean, you guys ask me all the time, why do they have to include the group of 5? At some point, they're just going to have to say, we don't care about the group of 5 anymore. And it's going to take a handful of presidents and athletic directors to kind of do, almost like move an NFL franchise in the middle of the night, like the Colts did, back in the day. Like, they're going to have to get together. I'm trying to think. There's something like that. I guess Texas and Oklahoma's moved to the SEC. It's going to be like that. Like, it's just going to happen overnight, and everybody's going to find out about it. It's going to be like, okay, well, there's 32 teams in this new league, or there's 64 teams in this new league, and everybody else is on their own.
I guess I don't understand why can't they just go to 16 and say we're just going to take the 16 best teams, and if there's a group of 5 team that's one of the 16 best teams, which there's a chance
it makes too much sense, George.
I mean, why not just do that?
Because you'll have
they'll get sued.
Go ahead, Eddie.
The Boise States of the world will raise all hell.
Yeah, Tulane. I mean, think about how much hell
American Conference.
But if they go
West.
undefeated, or if they win 11 games, they're likely going to be one of the top 16 teams.
But they're also going to say you don't.
The likely.
They're going to say you don't give us
likely.
the opportunity to play against the level of competition in order to get ranked that high.
I mean, if the group of 5 schools is what's keeping all of this from going to where it needs to, then that's ridiculous.
That's why it's going to happen in the middle of the night.
It's antitrust, George. They're trying to keep from collusion. Like, they don't want it to look like they've been blackballed out of millions and millions of dollars.
I do think, though, with everything that happened with Notre Dame, and I don't know if you guys saw
are you starting a financial literacy company? This is the most concern I've ever seen you about this stuff.
No, and to me, guys, the thing I think the biggest problem is with the 16 is if you have a committee, they can claim bias, they can claim conspiracy because all these Power 5 athletic directors and former head coaches, of course they voted for the 5th best team in the SEC over the best team in the Mountain West or the best team in the American. I think you have to make a minimum criteria. If you are a G5 school and you're in the top 20, you're in. And I think you have to go back to the BCS so you can remove that bias conversation. Like, these are computers. We know you got to have strength of schedule. You got to have, you have to meet these parameters. And that's how you get in there, not a bunch of guys that can just change course on the last Sunday of the season for no apparent reason with no new data.
All right, Professor McQuistion, I know you got to get. I know you have to get. So we will let you on your way. We certainly appreciate it, and we'll catch up with you next week. And who knows? Maybe we'll see you. Alabama
you never know.
Weekend.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
See, Josh, by the way, I want to remind you guys, one of my favorite sponsors, Lucy, 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. You can set yourself up with a subscription like I have and have your Lucy delivered straight to your door. I think my shipment heads out tomorrow. I may have had some people borrow from my stash, but that's fine. I want everybody to have what I want what Barstool has. I want the Lucy dispenser, like the vending machine with all the Lucy in it. I'll keep paying for it because it's good stuff. What's your favorite Lucy flavor? Mine is wintergreen. I've got the mint sitting here right now because, as I said, my stash is getting a little bit low. Just throughout the day when I'm on the edit bay, throwing in some Lucy, when I'm at the board helping the guys do YouTube shows. Look, level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/Soonerscoop and use promo code Soonerscoop to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Guys, I've tried them all. I've tried all the different nicotine pouches. Lucy is where it is for me. Lucy.co, use that code Soonerscoop to get 20% off. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. All right, we're going to talk to players tonight. Who's high on your list that you want to talk to heading into this Alabama game? George, we'll start with you.
Well, John Mateer, but I don't know if we'll talk to him tonight or next week.
Yeah.
But would love to chat with him and some of the offensive guys for sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say we could kind of parlay this in. SEC postseason awards have started to come out.
Yeah.
OU with 10 guys yesterday. That was – George and I were both sitting there as it came out, and he was like, okay, there's a couple on the first team, and then it just kept coming. It's kind of unbelievable that they ended up with 10 guys, the second most in the conference. Obviously, Tate Sandell and Grayson Miller, who we talked about earlier, or Mason Thomas makes it in 9 games. And then the host of guys on the fifth team with 2 on each side of the ball with Fabechi, Isaiah Satania, and then on the defensive side, Taylor Wine and Peyton Bowen and Ben Anderson. Pretty cool that all 3 of Oklahoma's kicking unit made the top 2 all-SEC teams, and then Eli Bowen and Jaron Kanik on the third team.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, though, that all of those guys were a part of that.
Well, and who would have ever thought Jaron Kanik, all-SEC of any level,
it's crazy.
on offense?
It's crazy, and he's been a big part of the
linebacker.
offense. When they, I think it was Eddie that said it the other day, it's when they've been moving the ball this year, Jaron Kanik is usually a part of that process. So super cool to see him get that honor. But, all those guys would be great to talk to tonight. I mean, those are all guys, obviously, that have been a huge part of getting this team to this point. And if they're going to win, they're going to need all those guys to play well.
Well, and I think when the dust settled, too, you kind of, were wondering, you start taking a look at it, and you're like, that guy wasn't all SEC. And I'm talking about Grayson Halton, David Stone. David Stone obviously had a, little handwriting emoji taking a note down yesterday. But as you guys said, and I don't know if it was on a show with Ari or just talking in the office, but it really was a focus on in-rushers on that list. And maybe they need to do a little bit of revamping for interior defensive linemen on the SEC list.
Yeah, I think all the guys, maybe not all the guys, but definitely all the guys on the first team defensive line were all edge rushers. So clearly, I don't know what the process is in voting, and it is voted on by the coaches. But I think a lot of the coaches, if I had to guess, have their SID do it, and I'm guessing the SIDs just go and look at
who has the most sacks and pressures,
the stats, yes, all that kind of stuff. And typically the edges are going to go and have I'm not saying that's exactly how they do it, but I would have to get. I just don't see Kirby Smart sitting down and being like, man, David Stone, he had a heck of a year for Oklahoma.
But I'm going to go
year.
with this edge guy.
Yeah, so I just don't. Again, that's kind of the peek behind the curtain on how that works. So I understand. David Stone, I think Grayson Halton, both those guys had Kip Lewis probably should have been on there, but the way this works is typically, the reason Jaron Kanik got on it is he's one of the top leading receivers in the SEC at tight end. So,
yeah, and that tends to happen even with national awards too. I remember, who was the Missouri tight end that wasn't really Chase Kaufman maybe? And I think
was definitely a name.
And he was all Big 12, and I was like, but he's not a tight end. He's a split out. He's a wide out that just is bigger. So a lot of times you just look at numbers, and you're right. That's how. I don't do it, but everything that I think I had a Lombardi vote, but I was just like, I don't feel qualified to vote on this because I don't watch interior linemen and linebackers or offensive linemen from all over the country. It's tough. It's tough to be an award voter, and it's a tough position those coaches are in. Because they're not going to.
I just don't buy that. Coaches like Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Kalen DeBoer, even Brent Venables are sitting down man, that guy over at Arkansas had a heck of a year.
Can you imagine, like, Brett going, hey, Coach Beatonbaugh, like, who gave you trouble on the interior this year more than anybody else?
I got to get this vote in by 3.
Yeah.
Can we make a point of contention for the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year finals?
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know how you can put together a list of 12 names and not have Brent Venables on there with what Oklahoma was able to do this season.
I will say the Eddie Robinson Award, it's a Football Writers of Association award, so you're sending a lot of ballots to a lot of older people, I think, that
they should respect it even more. They're kind of winning in an old-fashioned way with really good defense.
But a lot of those guys are not even actively covering football games on the weekends anymore.
It is bullshit, though.
It's crazy.
I mean, they had 12 finalists. Like, I would get it if it was like 5.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe even 8. I could be like, okay, but 12.
And I don't even have a problem with, you can put Bob Chesney on there from James Madison. He's done a fantastic job. Like, should Ryan Day be on there? I guess just because they're still really good? I don't know. I just thought Brent kind of got screwed. I think it was Josie that tweeted it out, though. I'm sure that that's something that can be used in the locker room as a rallying point with this team. But it's just kind of weird to me that he wasn't a part of any type of Coach of the Year conversation.
They have a lot of ammunition for the disrespect card to play going into this game.
Well, they do. Doesn't Alabama have the same a little bit? I think both of these teams and what has been said nationally about them.
The only thing, Alabama, you're right. They do have some ammunition. They've also played like shit the last month.
Yeah,
Oklahoma's like,
fair.
Why are we getting shit? We've won every game.
We
the last
went to
month.
Alabama and
yes,
won. We went to Tennessee and won.
That's fair.
Whereas I think Alabama's kind of like, shit. We might suck.
All right. Outside of that, anything off the football schedule that stood out to you guys? I know you guys have been watching the Jenny Baranchik shooting barrage lately in the office. Eddie's fascinated with this.
Massive games for both the men and the women coming up on Saturday
Bedlam
at the Paycom Center. Yeah, Bedlam basketball. OU men, not a good trip out to the desert. 22-2 run really kind of put them in underneath against Arizona State last Saturday. The OU women continue to play well. George and I were both at the NC State game. Really good win.
Great game.
Aliyah Chavez, I think I'm going to say it a couple times, like each time that we talk about her over the next 2 or 3 years, she's worth the price of admission. Like, just go see her.
Yeah,
it's
and she
pretty
might,
awesome.
She might miss 10 threes. She might also hit like 8.
Yeah.
But she's also going to, like, you just watch her play, you're like, okay, yep, she's really good.
She plays at a little bit of a different speed than everybody else. Like, you can tell that she is a very
the court
advanced
really
player.
well. Like, the way she can, like, get a shot up even if she's guarded, like, her passing.
I always say this with
really
like
good.
Like, and I don't think like Angel Reese was in this category. She's more to me in the Courtney Paris category of just, physically dominant people that kind of can just out rebound you but like when you look at like UConn, like Paige Beckers, Sue Bird over the years, like Aliyah Chavez is one of those, like, the best way I know to describe it is sexist. I don't care. Like, they play like dudes.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
She plays like Caitlin Clark. Now, she doesn't have the range,
right?
Like, where
Not
she's
yet.
pulling up from half court.
I think she has the range. She just doesn't have the green light yet.
Yeah, but she plays
She'll
like
earn that.
Caitlin Clark in a way where it's like she'll just go on a 10-0 run by herself, and it's like, oh, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And as much as we talk about Aliyah Chavez, like, I continue to just be amazed kind of every time that Sahara Williams does something, because she kept them in the game in the second half against NC State when they couldn't get any shots to fall.
Yeah, they've got a good squad. They got to pick it up on defense a bit. When Reagan Beards gets in foul trouble, that's a problem. She cannot get in foul trouble, but they've got a good, like, Aliyah Chavez kept him in the game, and then when they got to overtime, they're like, all right, we're just going to feed Reagan Beards and the game's over. Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
The big girl for the NC State fouled out, too, I think, right at the beginning of OT. And
he
it
was like, all right.
Let's just get her on the block, get her back to the basket. She's going to go get some work in.
And then one thing, too, is, like, Peyton Verhulst hasn't done a whole lot yet this year, and she still might be, like, arguably their best player. So once she gets going, like, I don't know. They've got a good squad. They need some of those young players still to step up.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
They've put themselves in really good position going into SEC play. You can kind of punctuate that with a win on Saturday over a really good Oklahoma State team. J.C. Hoyt's done a really good job. I think, in fact, Oklahoma State's higher than Oklahoma right now in the net rating that came out for women's basketball. I think they're like 15 and OU was 18, so not a whole big difference. But and then for the men, like I said, it's a massive game. They need to find a way to beat Oklahoma State.
I am concerned about the men's team.
Why? What's so?
Well, I just don't. I think it's taking too long to gel. They need to gel a little bit quicker.
That's all they've done is gelled early in the season under Porter, and
they haven't,
and it hadn't paid off.
Right, but
I'd prefer gelling earlier than earlier.
But I'm worried that they're going to get to SEC play, and it's too late.
That is, all valid concerns.
Like I just feel like some of these non-con games, and I'm not saying they needed to win all of them, but it's just been a little bit disappointing. Like, if they could have won at Arizona State, I'd feel a lot better about them.
Sure.
But getting their ass kicked down there wasn't a great feeling. And then also,
it was just that 22-2
losing to
run.
The Nebraska game, too. And I know Nebraska's playing good basketball. You told me that.
Nebraska's a really good basketball team.
Really good?
Yeah. I think they're pretty good.
Don't mess with his basketball.
We can.
Don't mess with his basketball stuff.
I just think that
Creighton's a little bit down this year.
Losing to both Arizona State and Nebraska, maybe we'll look up and Arizona State and Nebraska are great.
I think Nebraska's better than Arizona State. We'll see, though. Would it make you feel better if they would have lost in Lincoln? I think that's fine, too. I'm not saying that you're wrong by any means. I have my questions about them as well, and it's a lot of the same.
I'm just very skeptical.
I don't really have a reaction just because I know this is a transfer-heavy team, and they're going to have some growing pains. And I mean,
if they lose on Saturday, though, are you panic button yet?
I'm not panic button, but I don't think that, because I still don't know what Oklahoma State is. They're off to their best start since 2011, undefeated right now. It was a good win at Northwestern. It was a good win a couple weeks ago. I can't remember who they were playing that I was watching, but to say that is Oklahoma State going to be top half of the Big 12? I don't know that. I don't know that for a fact.
I think losing to OSU would. I mean, you're going to have to make up a lot of ground in SEC play. That's my concern. Is you're setting yourself up to where you're going to have to do pretty well on SEC play, and I don't know if they could do that.
The good news is, and I don't know if this is good news, the make you feel better news is, I don't know how good the SEC is this year. It's certainly not the conference that they were a year ago, where every team that was coming in or that you would see on the schedule is going to be top 15 or top 10 with an age range of 23 years old. It's not the veteran-heavy team that it was. Alabama's
Bruce
still really
Pearl's
good.
gone.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and I mean, if they can win this weekend, they have Kansas City, Stetson, Mississippi Valley State, so all wins.
Right.
Then they play Ole Miss. Ole Miss is not near as good.
No,
this year.
Chris Beard might kill AJ Storr at some point this season.
At Mississippi
he actively
State.
might murder him.
You're right. You look at the schedule. I mean, Florida and Alabama, that's tough.
Florida's still good. They played well against UConn last night, but they have struggled.
Texas
they went and got beat by
Texas
TCU.
Texas is very beatable this year.
Texas is
they're struggling.
A team that is struggling to score the basketball. I think they're going through a problem without Trey Johnson offensively.
Now that Mark Stoops is gone, is it taking pressure off of Mark Pope, or are they still pissed off?
No, they want to kill him. Did you see last night?
No, I did not.
I mean, obviously the last couple of weeks have not been good for Kentucky basketball. They're off to their worst start in like 15 years. And last night, Brandon Garrison made a turnover at about the free throw line and didn't run back.
Oh, no.
And Mark Pope, I've never seen him so mad. He benched him the rest of the game.
Wow.
People are basically sending Otega away threats for making $3 million. Like, it is a nasty, nasty scene.
So has Otega come back from? I mean, he was so good last year. It was like shocking how good he was.
Wasn't
Has
he
he come back
SEC
to
Player
earth?
of the Year last year?
Preseason SEC player
Has
this year.
he kind of come back to earth a little bit?
I don't think he's come back to earth as much as it just. I don't look at him as a guy like when you don't
he had
have
a good
the other
role last year.
When you don't have the other four out there with you, everything is now coming on him. And I just don't know if he's like that guy.
Yeah.
Because it's the same stuff that we've talked about. He doesn't necessarily have a jump shot that you could really count on. I know
definitely
it's better.
He's definitely going to hit a dagger, though, against Oklahoma this year.
Well, you can count on that. And it'll be at Rupp, and those people will be bought back in. But right now, yeah, like people want him fired. They want Mark Pope fired for having a $20 million roster. Like everything with Mitch Barnhart, Gary, I don't know if you follow like the JMI. I think it's JMI, like the NIL company that they signed with. It just everything around the athletic program at Kentucky right now seems a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, they did that thing where they incorporated or whatever. They made the athletic department a company on its own and everything.
It's not going well.
Yeah,
just from reading the tea leaves.
Interesting.
Other than that, though, I don't think I have anything else. Basketball, Michigan is incredible. They are unbelievable. Michigan basketball is.
Who's their coach now?
Dusty May from FAU.
Okay.
Can't say I've watched a ton of college basketball.
I mean, they've just been
you just tried to argue with Eddie about basketball, and you.
Well, I've watched OU.
Eddie lives in front of 4 screens watching basketball.
Yeah, I know. I just find it. I'm waiting till February.
The
February is when we
valid.
find out. January and February, I think, is when you find out who's actually good.
The
I just
concerns
don't.
are definitely valid with OU, though.
Yeah, and I'll believe Nebraska and Arizona State when I see it in January and February.
Yeah, 100%. Nebraska has an interesting game tonight if you're looking to get into the college basketball sicko mode. They play Wisconsin, a team that Oklahoma played in an exhibition. I don't know how good Wisconsin is. So we'll see. Michigan State's another team. They got beat over the weekend by Duke, but I think they're a pretty good basketball team. Jeremy Fears was terrible, but outside of that, go Thunder, Cup night.
Oh, finally.
Could you not feel the...
It feels like it's been weeks since
just
the Thunder
feel it
played.
in the air. Cup fever.
I think we got some Thunder World Championship merch today, finally, that we'd had on order since literally the day after they won the championship.
I will never take the day for granted or the moment for granted. I accept all
they're
championship stuff.
2-1. I mean
23-1.
23-1.
Looking to go 24-1 tonight.
Counts tonight. It won't count if they make it all the way to the Cup, but I think one Vegas game counts, the other doesn't.
Did you we haven't talked about the scumbags out of South Bend very much on this program today, but did you see what they did to Ivan Maisel?
No.
It's back on, by the way.
Oh, it's back on.
Yes, the book signing that was canceled is now back on.
So,
and Ivan Maisel has also put out that he wasn't even
because he's on the committee.
Yeah,
right.
But he wasn't even in the room. He recused himself because Marcus Freeman wrote the foreword for the book that he wrote. So he recused himself back in August. So he was not even in the room. What's funny about the committee, I'm going to go on a little rant here.
I like it.
Is all of these ADs and these people, they have ties to a lot of these schools that are in the playoff. Mm-hmm. And so in my head, you're recusing like 6 people.
Who is making these decisions?
Yeah, it's like there's only probably really a handful of people. Like I think there's like a guy from Ole Miss on the committee. The Notre Dame AD, I believe, was I don't know if he was on the committee this year, but like it's like a lot of times Michigan a few years ago, the AD was like the chair, and it was like Michigan was the best team in the country. It's like, oh, so there's really only like 8 people in the room.
You got like a bunch of Barry Alvarez's being the only ones voting.
So it's just it's ridiculous. But anyways, yes, they were going to cancel his book signing. Now it's back on. It's just ridiculous. Notre Dame is being so
juvenile.
Yes.
Arrogant.
That's a great word.
Assholes. Embarrassing. And I get it. Like if the shoe was on the other foot, hand up, I would have lost my mind if OU was in the position Notre Dame was in. But this is like kind of years and years and years that have culminated to this moment, isn't it? Like I feel like this sport just bends over backward for Notre Dame.
It does, and it always
at
has.
every point. What the is going on with this, the MOU or whatever they call it, with Notre Dame getting in the top 12? Was that a known thing?
No.
Did everybody know about that?
No, but I also don't think it's going to happen because it's vetoed if the playoff expands. If it goes to 14 or 16, it no longer exists.
It's just if it's 12.
Just if it's 12.
I see.
So
that makes me feel a little bit better. But
but you're right. I mean, college football has bent over backward for Notre Dame for as long as I've been alive.
I love Brett Yormark going after
The AD.
The Notre Dame AD, too. That was awesome.
I will also say, too, like...
Well, he also knows that there's no chance that they ever land in the Big 12.
But I will say that I heard Andy and Ari talking about this, and they're like, well, Notre Dame doesn't need to join a conference. And I would disagree on that because it's like they should have to join a conference. Like, if they want to bitch and complain about this, like I think that they should be in a conference. Like, them being an independent and everybody bending over backwards for them is what has caused this.
Yeah. It's the definition, is it not, of like what's the phrase, like having your cake and eating it too or whatever?
And hasn't the Big Ten said, they've come out and said in years prior to this that Notre Dame's welcome to join the league as a full member? Why would they not do that?
Who wouldn't want?
I guess because I know they make more money, whatever. But it's like at some point they should have to join one. I think.
Well, but I also think
treatment?
The reason that they make all this money is because they lived in a world that no longer exists.
Yeah,
and like Peacock can try and package it, and they have. I mean, I remember from the very beginning, Peacock launched. They had an exclusive game that you could only see a Notre Dame game if you had the streaming service. So, but I mean, the reason that they had that money that was available is because all of their games were broadcast exclusively on NBC over the air. But now NBC has the NBA, they have the NFL, they've got they've got the Big Ten now. Like next time this comes up, I don't know that they need Notre Dame.
I love the idea too that I've seen a couple of the Notre Dame reporters like tweeting out the away game attendance. And it's like, well, of course Notre Dame's going to sell out Pittsburgh. Like, that's not really making a statement.
Yeah.
I think you would do the same. They did the same in Temple.
It would be pretty funny if Marcus Freeman left for the NFL too.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I don't know how real that is though. I know that I sent that to the group the other day with the New York Giants. I don't know. Is the Mara family, like, are they crazy enough to do something like that? Seems like they're going to just hire a retread. Probably give it to Mike Kafka, the intern.
Well,
I don't know
what if they get rid of Tomlin? Does he become a Steelers candidate?
Oh, Marcus Freeman?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the Rooney family would want to do there.
They'll probably just rehire Mike Tomlin. He'll get in the playoffs at 9-8, and
yeah, probably so. He's been doing it for 21 years.
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, the family did come out and say that he's going to have through next year because I think he has another year left on his contract with the Steelers.
Yeah.
As if they don't have the money to just pay that off.
Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of stupid.
All right, we're going to continue down this road to the college football playoff. More to come. We've got, as I said, practice tonight. Practice reports coming in the next couple of days. Still tons of content, and it's only going to ramp up. So $1 to subscribe. Check us out, Soonerscoop.com. We'd love to have you part of our community, even though they are a bunch of miscreants. We love them. So, yes, thank you for listening once again, and we'll see you back here next week for another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast right here on Soonerscoop.com.